If you don't live in a cave, you probably know that the UK job market is showing clear sign of stress. KPMG's November 2024 reports shows permanent job vacancies dropping by 9.3%. It's the biggest decline since the COVID crisis in 2020. At the same time, the minimum wage has jumped from £750 in 2018, £1144 in late 2024, making new hires more expensive for companies. The traditional route to top jobs had changed significantly. 5 or 6 years ago, graduating from a top master's program could lead directly to position at top consulting firms, such as MBB or investment banks in major cities. Now, the journey looks very different. Most candidates need to complete 2 or 3 internships first, then take an okay job, then hustle again for 1 or 2 years before finally landing a top-tier role. I got friends with 750 GMAT, LBS Dean's List, still doing off-cycle to this day. I had a coffee chat with a 30 years old who's done 10 off-cycle with the best brand names on the CV. I'm talking about Botried, Moelis, etc. But he still can't convert to full-time. The challenging job market is creating a clear trend. More young professionals are turning to master's program to avoid career gap or delay their entry to a broken job market. It's becoming a common strategy when breaking into banking or consulting prove difficult. And as a direct result, we're seeing significantly more application for the same number of spots at top business school. This makes an already competitive process even more challenging, as schools aren't increasing their classes size to match this surge in application. With more people competing for the same spots in top school, the market for application help has grown significantly. Let's look at how this plays out. So at London Business School, 60% of students work with prep agencies for the application. Schools are aware of these trends, of course, and try to control it. They now use special online portals for recommendation letters, where only the recommender gets the password after the application is submitted. Some schools, like LSE, even state clearly on their website that they don't want students getting professional help. But the reality is that schools can't really stop this trend. The market has changed, and motivated students will always find ways to make their application stand out and get accepted if they really want to do it. My mother is from Shanghai, so I have a part of my family from there. And in China, using prep agencies has always been a big thing because comparison starts early. Students compete for a spot in top high schools, then universities, and finally business school. With so many people trying for the same spot, getting professional help has become standard practice. The US market is quite similar actually, especially for Ivy League schools. This university attracts students from all over the world. So again, because the competition is so rough, the use of prep agencies is common and well established. The European market for application help is changing fast. What a European traditional weren't used to paying for education support because quality education is often free or low cost in Europe, this mindset is shifting quickly. Take France as an example. And I know what I'm talking about because I'm French, as you can hear with my accent. New prep companies are appearing every year, showing there's a growing demand. This is happening because students are realizing that getting into top program isn't just about good grades or good GMAT anymore. It's about having a strong, complete application that actually fit what the business school is looking for. The change is particularly interesting in France because of its unique education system. So French students are actually very familiar with prep school because we have a system called Prépa that we do after the baccalaureate and before business school, which is very similar. You're going to get professional help in order to get prepared for a very competitive entrance exam. However, a lot of these Prépa are state-owned, so it's not going to be that expensive. That's why paying high fees for application consulting is a newer concept in France. Now, with more competition for spot at top international business school, French students are starting to see application help as an investment, similar to how they view prep courses for over a competitive exam. This shift is happening across all Europe, but France is a good example of how fast the market is developing. Just a few years ago, there were only a handful of prep companies. Now, new ones are opening regularly, showing that European students are becoming more comfortable with the idea of getting professional help for the application. With more application than ever before, the trend of getting professional help is likely to continue growing. Students who wants to get into top school are looking for every possible advantage in this super competitive environment. So why I think any serious student would want to work with a team behind them. So first of all, yes, I'm quite bullish on this market trend because as myself, I'm the owner of one of Europe's leading preparation agency, an agency that's called MIMPrep. But I want to make this video to talk about, the application to business school in general, and much more. I want to give an overview of the market landscape of master application. So first, let's talk about the specific nature of each school. When the average student will do one application for their top school, like for example, LBS or HSC, they're going to do first one application for HSC, and then they're going to adapt this application to other school. And this, it's a big mistake. Why? Because a business school is much more than just a career launchpad. It's an entire chapter of a student life with its own community and alumni network. And each school has its own specific DNA. So if you look at LBS, for example, in the scorecard that LBS gives its alumni interviewers to grade candidates during the interview, there are 4 pillars. So 3 pillars are very classic. It's going to be, experience and achievement, teamwork and leadership, aspiration, goal setting, and market knowledge. And the 4th one is program and school knowledge. This 4th pillar is a key part of the LBS application and interview process, because what's very interesting is that there's a specific question that the interview must answer before submitting your scorecard after interviewing you. So one of the questions is, would you have liked this student to be in your class? And do you think that this student will represent the school and its alumni in a positive way? A school like LBS and HSC can easily attract students with top GPA, top GMAT, etc. But that's not their only concern. What they really want to make sure is that you understand what makes them different, and if you would really be a good fit in their specific community. And that's why working with people who know this difference between schools can make such a big difference in your application success. They can help you show not just your achievement, but why you're the right fit for each specific school, each specific program. And that's why, agency, we have 35 mentors, because we need people from not only every school, but also every program. We have mentors who, graduated from HSC MIM, HSC MIF, MIT Finance, HSCL, LBS MFA, LBS MIM, etc. Because each program is really unique. And having a deep understanding of the program you're applying to is vital if you want to be competitive with your application, because of this 4th pillar, because of this specific reason. So the specific experience of our mentors with this program help in 2 ways. First, they understand exactly what each program looks for in a candidate. And second, they can share real insight about what makes each program special. Things that, you won't find on the school website. When a mentor from LBS MIM helps you with your application, they're sharing their direct experiences with that exact program. Think about it. The LBS MIM application should look quite different from an MIT application, even if it's coming from the same candidate. Each program has its own value, culture, expectation, student society, etc., etc. When a mentor graduated from LBS MIM 3 years ago, they know exactly what the program is like now, not what it was like a decade ago. They've gone through recent changes in the curriculum. They know current professors, and they understand how career services work today. They've also experienced the current job market firsthand, which is crucial because they can give realistic advice about career opportunities. Having recent graduates as mentors means they know what really matters in the application right now. The application process, school priorities, and even interview question can change from year to year. All mentors have gone through this process recently enough to give accurate, up-to-date guidance. So our story began with my own journey applying to business school in 2022. And like many of our students, I was aiming, to the very best. I wanted to go either to HSC or LBS. So I invested heavily in my preparation, working with the most expensive GMAT tutors in Paris, and even hiring 2 of the best preparation agencies in Europe. And through this experience, I discovered some serious problem with how the market worked. And if you take the typical preparation companies, it's going to be like this. They have someone who got into a top school like HSC, and this person is going to say, okay, I got into HSC, I'm going to help you get into HSC. But what you don't know is that this person actually got a 730 GMAT. So the problem is that if you don't have a 730 GMAT, let's say you have a 650, the score that I had, maybe the strategy that this person used to get into HSC is not going to suffice for me, because we don't have the same profile, we don't have the same personal story, etc., etc. So this insight led us to create a completely different approach at, my agency, MIMPrep. We as a team of specialists, much like, a football team. Think about it. In football, you want to ask your goalkeeper to score goals or your striker to defend. Each player has their specific role and expertise, and we apply the same principle to master application. So for personal statements, we exclusively work with writers from Oxbridge or UCL humanities background. Why? Because they're trained in crafting compelling narratives, and they know how to tell a story in a way that captures attention. Or CV editors, the same. They don't just come from top school like HEC and LBS. They've also edited more than 100 CVs. They understand both the technical requirements and how to make your expense actually stand out in a sheet of paper. When it comes to interview, again, we specifically choose mentors who got in the program with lower GMAT scores or not the best CVs, but a real ability to defend the personal story and career plan in the interview. So this specialized team approach allows us to optimize every part of your application, ensuring each element is handled by someone who truly excels in that specific area. So when you think about it, space is incredibly limited in your application. So you typically have just, 4 or 5 pages total to tell your whole personal story. 1 page for your personal statement, 1 for your recommendation, 1 for your CV, maybe 1 additional for optional essay or leadership question, and that's it. So that's why every line, every word must have an impact, and all parts must work together. Because selection committees read everything as one complete story. You're comparing your CV with your personal statement and recommendation to see if, as a whole, it makes sense. That's why every word, every line needs to be optimized and to make sense as a whole. Our result proved this detailed approach worked. Last year, we sent 30 out of 34 people to LBS, making up close to 10% of their entire meme cohort. At HEC, 16 out of our 19 applicants got in, with 8 of the 16 getting in the prestigious HECL program. We've maintained very solid rates with LSE and INSEAD as well, placing over 70 students in total. The percentage of people getting professional help for top program continue to increase. And, the competition between preparation companies intensifies. So that's why, unlike many preparation companies, what we want to do is to keep small classes and offer truly personalized services. I've done this a lot. We've helped more than 250 students now, and there's no secret formula. It's about putting in the time and attention to detail that excellence requires. On average, 6 mentors and 60 hours are dedicated to each student file. If you want to know a bit more about our service, so first of all, we're actually very careful about our reputation and our results. And because we receive a lot of demand from social media, we have more demand than actually we have spot in the program. And that's why, if you want to potentially work with us, you can book, a consultation call with the link below, and you will see if it makes sense to collaborate. But just before you do this, if you want to work with us, there's a disclaimer. We only work with certain type of people. So first, for me, super important, we only work with very ambitious students. So ambition is one of our core values, and what we are trying to do is to send all of our students to Europe top 5 business schools. I'm talking about LBS, HEC, ESSEC, LSE, INSEAD equivalent. The second point is going to be, we prefer to work with people that are multi-linguists. So students that speak at least 3 languages. Diversity for us is key, and for business school as well. So third point, students needs to have at least 6 months of solid internship on their CVs. And the last one, we don't work with people we don't think we can genuinely add value to their application file. So having said that, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.